Matthew 23 isn't a gentle pat on the back. It's a wake-up call that shakes you to the core. Imagine Jesus standing in the temple, looking directly into the eyes of the religious leaders, the people who are supposed to guide others to God, and say, "Woe to you." That's not a casual phrase. That's a gut punch. It's Jesus saying you missed the point entirely. Now, before you think this chapter is just for them, let me ask you this. What if it's for you? What if it's for us? Jesus starts by calling out the hypocrites. He says they preach, but they do not practice. Ouch. How often do we say one thing and live another? We tell people to forgive, but we hold grudges. We preach love, but we refuse to love our enemies. Jesus isn't just talking to the Pharisees here. He's talking to anyone who claims to follow him, but don't live it out. They tie up heavy burdens and they lay them on people's shoulders. Think about that. The Pharisees made faith harder than it needed to be. Rules on top of rules. Laws without love. Are we doing that today? Are we turning people away from God by making him seem unapproachable? Like you had to be perfect before you come to him? Jesus is saying, stop it. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. But Jesus doesn't stop there. He cuts even deeper. Woe to you, blind guides. He's calling out their spiritual blindness. They're obsessed with appearances. Clean the outside of the cup while the inside is filthy. Let's get real. How often do we focus on looking good in front of others, but ignore the sin in our hearts? How often do we care more about what people think than what God sees? You are like the whitewashed tombs. This one hits hard. On the outside, they look beautiful, but inside, they're full of dead bones. It's a warning for all of us. Don't settle for a faith that's all surface and no substance. God isn't impressed by our image. He's after our hearts. But here's the thing. Even in his hardest rebukes, Jesus' heart is full of love. Listen to this. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how often have I longed to gather your children together, sorry. As a hen gathers her chicks under her wing, can you feel the ache in his words? He's not condemning to destroy. He's calling out to save. This chapter isn't just about judgment. It's about grace. It's about Jesus pleading with us to stop playing games with our faith, to stop being fake, to stop rejecting the God who loves us more than we can imagine. So here's the question. Are you ready to get real with God? Because he's ready to meet you where you are. Not where you pretend to be, but where you truly are. The mask, the pride, the hypocrisy, don't fool him. And here's the good news. You don't need them. Jesus is calling you to something deeper, something real. Will you answer? Will you let him clean the inside of the cup? Will you let him gather you under his wings and give you the life you were made for? The choice is yours. Don't wait. Don't hesitate.